In a previous session, we deployed a small, simple contract, a greetings contract, to the public Ethereum blockchain. In this case, we're going to be doing the same, except that instead of publishing to that public network, we're going to do it to our own private blockchain. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by creating an instance of the Ethereum blockchain, and I'm going to do that locally. I'm going to go ahead here and click on Ganesh. This is the tool that I'm going to be using. Once it comes up, I'm going to select the quick start, which will create some accounts for us, as well as an environment that has the settings for us to get started. I'm going to go ahead and click on the quick start. Pretty soon we'll see a list of accounts, as you can see. We'll also take a look at the configuration for accounts and keys and that of the server. I wanted to confirm there that the port number that was being used was 8545. I'm then going to go back to the main interface, and I'll note, just as before, that through it we can view blocks, transactions, and logs. We don't have any right now because we just launched this network. And I'm going to go ahead and start by copying the private key. I'm going to copy that. And the reason I'm doing it is because I'm going to go ahead and add it to MetaMask. I'm going to go ahead and, before I add the account, I'm going to switch to a direct connection through MetaMask to this instance of the Ethereum blockchain. As you can see there, I have a connection, and this particular account, the Alice account, has no Ether because it doesn't even exist within that environment. So I'm going to go ahead and import an account. I'm going to do it by private key. I'm then going to go ahead and import, and as you can see there, now we have account number 2 with 100 Ether in it. Now, next I'm going to go ahead and navigate to Remix as before, except that when I select the MetaMask plugin, the connection to MetaMask, I'm going to be using the connection that MetaMask is holding to Ganesh. So let's go ahead and navigate to Remix. So you can see there, I am going to follow the link. Once I arrive at the site, I'm going to go ahead and load the contract into the editor. This is the same contract we wrote before. It specifies the compiler. It is a simple contract called greeting that has one function called world that returns hello world. Now, next, I'm going to go ahead and compile it just to make sure that nothing has changed and this still works, and it does. I'm then going to navigate to the deployment. As mentioned before, there's 3 ways in which we can deploy. One is to a virtualized environment within the page called the JavaScript VM. The second one is the MetaMask connection. And the third one is to make a direct connection from this editor to our local blockchain. Now, I'm going to go ahead and select, in this case, MetaMask. And as you can see there, we have 0x9dB. If we go back here, we can see 0x9dB, and we should have the same here, 0x9dB. So now we'll go back, and we're going to go ahead and deploy this contract. In this case, we're deploying it to our local blockchain. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Once I do, I'm asked to confirm. And as you can see there, I have gotten a failure. This happens at times when you're moving between networks. The nonce get misaligned. And as you can see here at the bottom, we have precisely that error. I'm going to go ahead and close this, and I'm going to go ahead and show you within MetaMask what is that you can select to be able to reset the account. Let me go ahead and do it again. Looks like that did not go through. Let me try it directly from the plugin. I'm going to go ahead and select settings. Here I will go to advanced. I'm going to then scroll down and reset the account. I am resetting the account. It should take a minute. and this should go through. I think that should have reset it. Let me make sure it has. I'll just move between networks to make sure that it is. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my network. I'm going to go ahead and do the resetting one last time just to make sure that that is taking hold. So I'm going to scroll down, select reset, go ahead and navigate back to Remix. And now I'm going to go ahead and go back to the contract, compile once more, simply to make sure that those settings are taking hold. And then I'm going to move from VM to the local connection through the plugin, which in this case is holding the connection to our private instance, local instance. And then I'm going to go ahead and deploy. We're going to go ahead and hit and confirm, and you can see that went right through. If I select on the hello world, the method that returns hello world, you can see that that works. And if we were to navigate to our local instance, the graphical interface, we could see there that there are a couple of blocks. The first one is mined as you launch. The second one includes this contract that we deployed. If we look at the transactions, we have a single one, which is the contract that we just deployed. So let me go back to our interface, and I'm going to do the exact same thing that I've just done. However, now instead of using MetaMask, I'm going to go ahead and deploy directly to, let me go ahead and move up. I'm going to make a connection directly to our local instance. I am no longer using MetaMask. In this case, I am reaching out locally to our local instance. And so it's asking me to confirm, then it's asking me for the address. Remember, we checked that at the beginning. It's localhost running on port 8545. I'm then going to confirm that connection and give it a moment just for it to establish that connection. Once it does, I'm going to go ahead and click on deploy once more. And this is going to deploy the contract once again. This time it was even faster. So you can see here, I can go ahead and click on world and I get back hello world. If we go back to our local instance and we look at transactions, we have one more, which is the deployment that we just did of our contract. So this is a great way to run something locally, to attach the tools that you've used already, which is the plugin using MetaMask. And now you can attach the editor as well. So you can deploy contracts, you can do transactions, and you could even do the exact same thing using a custom object within a web page so that you could have a custom UI and you could interact much in the same way that Ethereum did, that the Remix editor is doing. It's holding a custom object and it is making that connection directly. So go ahead and give it a try. This should be a fun one to do. The MetaMask you should already have. Remix, you don't need to do any installations, just navigate to it. And when it comes to Ganesh, it's a simple install and running the executable. There are no command configurations that need to be done. So go ahead and give it a try.